What is going on YouTube? Sean O'Grady with O'Grady Fitness, and today I want to take you all through my summer grocery haul. And this is going to be so that way we can get shredded, right? Because we all know that summer's coming around the corner, but of course dieting can suck. So I want to show you all some of my hacks so we can get ready to take our shirts off at the pool and look better for the up and coming summer. So without further ado, let's get to it. And of course, before we get started, I do want to mention that I'm not a nutritionist. These are just hacks that help me kind of stay sane whenever I'm on a cut. You know, calorie deficits are the most important thing when it comes to losing weight and shredding off that fat. But with that said, I want to make sure that I'm not suffering. So these are some things that have helped me out in the past and that still hold true to this very day. So the way that I'll do this is we'll have the more sweet stuff in the beginning and we'll kind of work our way towards the more savory things as well as the proteins of choice. And for me, one thing that I love keeping on hand at all times are Kodiak cakes. These are super simple and super easy. Now, I know that anabolic recipe channels have a lot of different recipes for anabolic pancakes, high protein, low calorie. But these are the most convenient thing in my opinion, and there's tons of different flavors to mix it up and keep things interesting. And of course, rice cakes. I have a couple different flavors here. These are caramel and these are the chocolate ones. Spreading a little bit of peanut butter on these bad boys definitely helps me go sane whenever I am in a cut. It's a nice little treat for the end of the day, and it's something that I look forward to. It's kind of my own way of treating myself whenever I'm on a cut. So, speaking of spreads, we have Anabutter. Now, I know that this is kind of a controversial thing in the fitness YouTube space because it was made by Remington James's company, the Anabar Final Boss Fitness. And I know that it's not the lowest calorie peanut butter, it's not the anabolic peanut butter, but on that same note, I'm not an anabolic diet person. I just like eating food that tastes good and keeping under, my recommended calories for maintenance. So when I'm on a cut, I'm not really focused on necessarily the anabolic recipes, just the recipes that allow me to hit my protein goals and stay in a calorie deficit. So with that all said, I definitely recommend the Anabutter. There's different types of peanut butter as well online, and they have kind of the similar concept of adding sprinkles or cereal or whatever it may be. And I'm gonna try probably a couple different brands, but right now this is what I'm going with, and so far it's working. And while I'm on that note, I might as well mention the Anabar itself. I just got these a couple of weeks ago, I believe about a month ago now. Hannah will vouch for this as well. They're great. Like, I love the way that they taste. They're super simple, and it's kind of like a meal replacement for myself. Usually if the morning's super busy, I can have an Anabar, maybe a whey protein shake. I'd rather have the Anabar. It's better tasting. I'm not always super hungry whenever I wake up, so it's kind of a nice way to start the day and kind of get a little bit of protein in early on, so that way I'm not trying to make up for it later in the day. And of course, I like to have 0 calorie sodas around the house. This is Virgil's. Virgil's is great. There's no caffeine in it, which I love because then I can have it later on in the day and it still tastes good. I actually think it might be better than some of the traditional 0 calorie, 0 sugar sodas and the poppy sodas as well. These are supposed to be good for your gut health. I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily true, but I will say that they're not bad, so definitely try these out. I got these guys at Sprouts, so definitely a good pickup. And the best part about all of these things is there's numerous flavors, so if you're seeing something here and you're like, it's not really for me, I don't really like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, you're crazy, but maybe you don't like it. That's okay. Like, there's different flavors and varieties out there, so feel free to switch it up as you please. Please be sure that whatever it is you're bringing into the house you can eat without binging on. Puff cereal. This is birthday cake. I've tried the cocoa one. I think that might be the best one in my opinion. There's also Magic Spoon. There's different brands, but Power Puffs is a little bit cheaper, so that's the one that I'm going with because I don't eat it every single day, so it's not like the most urgent thing in my pantry, and it's good enough to get me by, right? So I'm going with Power Puffs Plus, and definitely a good snack, and it's kind of nostalgic. It feels like you're eating cereal on a Saturday morning. And of course, it's important to mention that it's not just cereal, but it's also got some protein in it, and not just like the regular 6 grams of protein that you might find in certain cereals. I believe it's got about 12-14 grams, so pretty good protein for a cereal. Bonnie 0 sugar Greek yogurts. These are great. They're only 60 calories. They've got 11 grams of protein, and they're super easy if you just want to take them with you for lunch or whatever that may be. I mentioned a lot of the regular foods that I'll be eating, while I'm on a cut to kind of treat myself and make things feel normal. One thing about those foods is a lot of them are a little bit higher in calorie. This right here is the exception. This is the marshmallow fluff from Walden Farms. It's 0 calories and it tastes, super good for something that is 0 calories, right? You don't expect it to be as good as it's gonna be, and it goes great with pancakes, it goes great on the rice cakes or whatever you wanna put them on. And that's a good way to, again, cap off the night, but have 0 calories in addition to whatever it is you're treating yourself to. So it's a great way to stay sane while you're on a cut. And if you're not a huge marshmallow fluff person, but you like something like jelly, these strawberry preserves from Smucker's are great. I like keeping these around 10 calories a serving. So not a ton of volume, but also just enough to add a little bit of flavor to whatever it is you're cooking. And I know I just talked about Walden Farms just a moment ago, but they also make ketchup, and I like to keep some additional sauces around. And these are all, Siete and Primal Kitchen. These are super low calorie, maybe 10, 20 calories per serving for a bottle. And you're not looking to oversaturate any of your foods, right? You just want to add a little bit of flavor, and that's what these guys do. It's like 5 grams per serving, so it's gonna be enough to flavor your food at only a couple of calories per serving. So that's kind of what I'm trying to, shoot for when I'm eating the things like chicken or the steak or whatever. I don't want it to be plain, and I don't want it to be kind of like boiled and boring. Now, one thing that I have mentioned in the past is implementing protein pastas. In my opinion, these are a nice little treat. Now, again, none of this stuff is really going to be like the staple of your diet for the most part, or at least up to this point. But having protein pasta in your diet can kind of get you away from the monotony of rice or sweet potatoes or whatever it is you're consuming from a carb perspective, and add a little bit of protein. Now, I will say this is probably best later on in the day if you're feeling full and you're kind of able to just fill a little bit of calories. 2 ounces of this is going to be about 190 calories, so you don't want to overdo it here. You want to make sure that you're monitoring it, but with that said, it's a good idea to kind of implement a little bit of diversity into your diet. And right here, I have a couple of different cheeses. This is reduced fat Mexican cheese. I like to add, this and, the sharp cheddar and different types of reduced fat cheeses into things like, tacos or whatever the recipe may be, cheeseburgers, things like that, right? And for me, this is a lifesaver. This adds a lot of flavor to the actual dish and kind of makes you feel like you're not really dieting, and allows you to, again, diversify whatever it is you're consuming. And then I have a nice old-fashioned cheese stick. This reminds me of being a kid again, eating PB&J and cheese sticks. You could certainly do that with the things that I've shown you here today. And for the most part, it's not gonna crush you on calories so long as you're keeping things in moderation, right? You don't wanna overconsume, but having one of these bad boys every now and then, it's kind of a nice little perk. And of course, what's a grocery haul without some meat? We have ground chicken here. This is lean ground chicken, as well as some flat ribeye steaks. And these are just some simple things that we keep around the house that are good for, dinners, lunches, whatever. And if you're trying to meal prep, those are great places to start. And then of course you would add, the sauces and things like that to your meal prep to kind of spicing things up and liven up those dishes. Up to this point, most of these foods really aren't going to be staples, but I would say as far as proteins go, whatever your protein of choice may be, those should always be the staple of your diets. A lot of the other things in this video are kind of just suggestions to help liven up dishes and help make you feel like you're not really dieting. And that's going to make this summer shredding a lot easier. And last but not least, this delicacy right here, these are eggs. As you can see, now, the reason why I do have eggs in this grocery haul is because, in my opinion, it's an rated source of protein. You can use egg whites, you can use whole eggs, but I think eating the whole egg has some perks. While it does have perks though, keep in mind that it's going to be a lot higher in calories, so having things like liquid egg whites on hand is always a nice alternative as well, so you can keep calories low, but also make sure that you're getting protein and a good source, especially first thing in the morning. If you enjoyed today's content, consider subscribing. I do have other videos. Be sure to check those out as well. And if you enjoyed today's content, leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought I did well, what I didn't do well, and I'll be sure to respond back in the comments below. And if you feel like I left anything off of this video that maybe you're implementing into your summer shredding diet right now, feel free to comment that as well. I'd be interested to hear what you all have working for you. So I'm gonna end it here. Thank you for watching.